Hi, welcome to Posting Groups in NAV Part 2. In this video, we'll look at all the specific posting groups in NAV. If you haven't already seen Part 1 of this video, the link is in the description box below. In Part 1, we discuss what are posting groups and how they work. The primary purpose of a specific posting group is to identify the primary balance sheet for each account in the supporting ledger. Let's dive into the individual posting groups. Customer posting groups. When you use the feature in the Sales and Receivable application area, you must create links to the general ledger accounts. The links are created by setting up one or more customer posting group. Each customer must belong to a posting group because the customer posting group tells the system where to post the transactions associated with that customer. Some examples of customer codes include foreign and domestic. You can organize your customers based on whether they're located in your country or abroad, hosted versus on-premise. If you're a software company and maybe some of your customers have your software hosted or on-premise. Based on what I just explained, I'll show you an example of how NAV handles customer posting groups. In the customer posting group table, you specify the accounts to which the system will post transactions involving customers in each posting group. You can specify accounts for receivables, service charges, payment discounts, invoice rounding, additional fees, and interest. For example, my receivables account is linked to my customer domestic account, and my service charge account is linked to my fees and charges accounts. You use this table to assign codes to each customer posting group. You will need to link your chart of accounts to these accounts based on your customer needs. The codes that are used for the specific company are domestic, EU, and foreign. Now I'll show you where you can see the customer posting group. If you go to the Customer tab and choose a customer, here is the customer posting group foreign. You can enter the code in the customer posting group field on each customer card. After this, when you post orders, invoice, credit memos, payments, and so on, the system will use the information represented by the code to post the accounts you specified. Vendor posting groups. When you use the features in the Purchase and Payables application area, you must create links to the general ledger accounts. The links are created by setting up one or more vendor posting groups. Each vendor must belong to a posting group because the vendor's posting group tells the system where to post the transactions associated with the payables account, service charge accounts, and payment discount accounts. An example of vendor codes could include your employees. If your employees are able to expense items, you can set them up as a vendor so you can reimburse them back. You can use geographical areas, such as cities or countries. For example, if I owned a global manufacturing company and dealt with vendors from around the world, or maybe you'd like to group your vendors by department. For example, if Microsoft supplied me with Surface tablets, I would be able to create a vendor posting group called IT because it would be for my IT department. Based on what I just explained, I'll show you an example of how NAV handles vendor posting groups. In the vendor posting group window, you specify the accounts to which the system will post transactions involving vendors for each posting group. You can specify accounts for payables, service charges, payment discounts, invoice rounding, etc. You can also use this window to assign codes to each vendor posting group. For example, my domestic payables account is linked to my vendor domestic account, and my EU service charge account is linked to my other cost of operations account. The codes that are used for this specific company are domestic, EU, and foreign. If you go to a vendor card, you can enter the code in the vendor posting group field, which is right here. After this, when you post orders, invoices, credit memo, payments, and so on, the system will use the information represented by the code to post the accounts you specified. Inventory posting groups. Some industries who would benefit from using the inventory module would be retail, distribution, and manufacturing. If you use the feature in the inventory application area, You must create links to the general ledger account. These links are created when you group items in your inventory in one or more inventory posting group, and then set the combination of inventory posting groups and location with general ledger accounts. Some location code examples could include blue, green, red location, whether you have a main or secondary location, or whether you have a location in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, and etc. Some inventory posting group codes examples are raw materials, finished goods, used parts, and new parts. Inventory posting groups also provide an ideal way to organize your inventory. When generating reports, you can separate items by their posting groups. Based on what I just explained, I'll show you an example of how NAV handles inventory posting groups. In this table, you can group items in your inventory in order to link GL accounts to groups rather than to specific items. When you have grouped your items, you can link a code and information about the inventory accounts to combinations of inventory posting groups and locations from there to each item. This means that you can enter an inventory posting group code in the inventory posting group field on each item card, and information about the posting group will automatically follow. The WIP material capacity subcontracted cap and manufacturing overhead variance account is related to the manufacturing module and will not be covered in this video. As you can see, the inventory accounts change based on the inventory posting groups. The finished posting group code is linked to the finished goods account. The raw material posting group is linked to the raw material inventory account. And the resale posting group is linked to the resale item posting account. You can create as many location codes as you see fit. Here are the location codes that are currently used in this system. Blue for blue warehouse, green for green warehouse, outsource logistics, own logistics, and etc. I'm going to show you an example of where you would see the inventory posting group. I'm going to search for a specific item. So loudspeaker black. And in the item card, you can see the inventory posting group is resale. And now I'm going to show you where the location code is. Under purchase orders, you can see that this location code is listed here as white. But if I delve down deeper, under shipping, you can see that the location code is white. And we will be shipping the loudspeaker. This way, when you post entries concerning an item, the program will post a GL account that is set up for the combination of the inventory posting group and location that's linked to the item. Bank account posting groups. Use bank account posting groups to create linkage between your bank accounts and the central financial statement in the general ledger. Some examples of bank account codes are your payroll account, your Canadian bank account, your US bank account, and your savings bank account. The bank account posting group specifies posting groups that you can use to create links between each bank account and the general ledger. A simple example of this is the Canadian code is linked to the bank checking account. After setting up posting groups, you can assign a posting group code to each bank account that you set up on the bank account card. I'll show you where the bank account card is located. Under Finance, if you click Bank Accounts, and here's the bank account posting group. For foreign currency bank accounts, the amount of the entry is posted to the general ledger account in the equivalent local currency value. Fixed assets, also known as tangible assets, or property, plant, and equipment, PP&E for short, is a term used for assets and property that cannot easily be converted into cash. In the fixed asset posting group, you must enter a code for each group of assets you want to work with. You can specify the GL account numbers needed for different types of expenses and costs. Posting groups also let you group assets. Posting groups also let you group fixed assets for statistical purposes. Examples of fixed asset codes include building, equipment, software, vehicle, land, and furniture. Based on what I just explained, I'll show you an example of how NAV handles fixed asset. In order to show you the fixed asset posting group, I'm going to go into a fixed asset. So under Home, under Advanced Finance, I'm going to choose the fixed asset Mercedes 300. In the fixed asset posting group, it's listed as a car. In the fixed asset posting group window, you specify a fixed asset posting group code. You can enter a maximum of 10 characters, both numbers and letters. In the following situations, the program will then use the information represented by the code to post to the accounts you specify. For example, the posting of purchase order invoices and credit memos, the posting of fixed asset transactions using journals, posting journals with the help of calculation depreciation batch job, and posting journals with the help of the index fixed assets. Fixed assets posting group window determines the GL accounts to use for posting acquisition costs, depreciation, and disposal costs. And that concludes specific posting groups in NAV. Thanks for watching.